Hey everybody, welcome. It's Greg Dean. If you don't know who I am, I've been teaching stand-up comedy longer than anyone else on the planet. Started back in 1982. I've been teaching for a long time, and I specialize in teaching techniques and skills, not my opinion of what's funny to help you get to your funny. I'm here to introduce to you today my new class, a workshop actually on Zoom called How to Do Crowd Work, Finding the Funny in Your Audience. So I thought I'd take you over some of the basics on it because some people have had some question whether or not it could work very well on Zoom, and I think it works better. Here we go. As an introduction here, first of all, the advantages of crowd work, huge, a lot. Okay, first of all, it can be a personal style. I know about Jeff Garcia, D.L. Hughley does some, Jimmy Brogan, Matt Rife, the younger ones who do this. It changes the energy from the previous comic or the MC. Somebody can come out and do some real gross material and set the tone wrong. You can reset the tone by doing crowd work. It's alternative when your material isn't working. What happens when the audience just not interested in what it is you've got to say that night? You have an alternative, okay? Very important for you to be able to do that. You can warm up a cold crowd or a bored crowd, either one. You can wake them up. You create variations in your show. So it's just not a monologist doing a bunch of one-liners or telling stories only. You can break up the night with different ideas. You can make the audience pay attention. Let me tell you, when you've got the mic, the lights and stuff, and you start doing crowd work, now they become afraid of you because at any moment you can go, "Hi, what's your name?" And they're like, "Holy crap, I'm in the show. Oh, I better pay attention." You can reconnect with an audience. Sometimes it just people are talking, just not really centered. They're doing, other things, distractions. Reconnect. All very important. When you forget your material not working, what happens when you go blank? Say it's a new material or something. What can you do? You can do crowd work. Always having something to do. Also you can find out why a joke doesn't work. That was always mine. You got to be kind of careful with that one. Going, hey, other than leave the stage, what else can I do? What happened to that joke? so So those are the many things that you can learn when you're doing crowd work. Those are the advantages. And they're huge. I think it's one of the top 4 things that comedians really need to learn. They need to learn about joke structure, joke writing, rehearsing, performing, and crowd work. I think I just mentioned 5. Shows you that I'm a comedy teacher, not a mathematician. Here we go. This may be the most important thing that you've come to me for, which is always having somewhere to go next, something to say, something to think about, some idea to grab onto, okay? Because what you want to avoid is lockup. Okay, you can ask questions the wrong way and the audience locks up. Or you can go into your own head and start with, they're not laughing, they're not laughing. Oh my God, what's going wrong? They're not laughing. Oh, it's terrible. I'm bombing. You get into that internal self-talk loop, you are in big trouble. The question is, how do you get out of it? Techniques will pull you out of that. Okay, you get support, live support in this Zoom workshop from me. If things can get better or things are going off the rails or you're just not sure, I can remind you of the techniques and where to go. And then you practice always having somewhere to go. Okay. Now, here is something that's quite surprising to a lot of people, which is you always need to have a premise. Huh? I thought that was for joke writing. It is. It is for everything in comedy. You've got to have a subject and a negative opinion. What are you talking about and what position is being taken? And in crowd work, it's not always your premise. It could be your premise, your negative opinion about the answers. It could be the participants, and they could tell you what their negative opinion is about something. Could be somebody at their table. Okay. It could be somebody in the room. It could be somebody you make up in your head as a fantasy tense person that's going to comment on the situation. Still got to have a premise. Okay. Then once you get that premise, you exploit the negative consequences of it. I'm going to teach you how to do that. It's a lot of techniques behind that, because when you find the details, you find the jokes. I've always told you, jokes are in the details. They're not in generalities. They're in the details. Teach you techniques for digging into details. Okay. The techniques, there are techniques that lead to laughter. Certain ones, for instance, real quickly, like misunderstanding. You misunderstand what somebody says on purpose and pretend that you didn't misunderstand them and you continue. That's a great technique that leads to laughs. There's a lot of those techniques that I'll be teaching. Okay. You can practice and master these techniques in the Zoom class. Okay. You can practice and practice. So that's what it's about. And you have a safe place to play. Anybody who's been around me knows that we believe in solution feedback, which means no negative feedback, no criticism. Uh, it just doesn't help. It best is what people want is to know how to fix it, not sit around and be browbeat for what they didn't do wrong or how the teacher would have done it this way. No, learn the techniques and apply it to your sense of humor. That's what I do. And that's one of the more powerful things about being able to teach technique rather than my opinion of what's funny or what, like, well, if I did it this way, you've got to do it too. The point of techniques is to set you free from me and for you to find how you become funny with an audience, how you can turn their comments and their answers into jokes themselves. Okay, so here are some of the basic skills that you're going to learn. First of all, it's questions. Makes sense. Starts out that way, but it's not as simple as that. There's a lot of different things you need to know about asking. You have to ask the right questions. You have to ask to get answers. You need to get certain kinds of answers so that you can build a premise, have an idea to which you can find the negative opinion. Again, it doesn't always have to be yours. The next thing is about the answers, turning those answers into premises by identifying those negative opinions and knowing, again, you always need to have some place to go, something to talk about, something to make a comment about, or a remark or an act out, which is the next things, responses, making remarks and doing act outs based upon the negative consequences of the premise, of the situation of the premise, wherever that is. Boy, it opens up the doors to an enormous amount of places to go to always have something to say or something to do on stage, because that is the big challenge. That's what will make you comfortable on stage. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be funny. What it means is that you always know where you're going to go next. You always have something to do so you don't fall into that negative self-talk trap and lock things up. You just have some, you know where you're going to go to next. Okay, so here's a quick little warm-up as a clip from the current classes that I have. Ask a negative question. Want to keep pushing you in those directions. I don't want to do it for you. I just want you to get into the habit of finding those things.
But what do you do, Jared? What do you do for a living?
I'm a dishwasher.
Jared, what happened, man? How'd you end up as a dishwasher?
Now, kind of go the opposite direction. Find out if he has a college degree. Find out what went wrong with his life. Now, what do you, this is where you kind of make
Oh, that's great.
Ask him questions, put him on the spot, you know?
So, Jared, did you graduate from college?
No.
Now, wait. Now, what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Same with high school. Same with high school.
Yeah,
find out if you finished high school.
I did graduate high school.
Barely, right?
Pretty much.
Man, you got any other dishwashers in your family? Mom, dad?
No,
you got a whole genealogy of dishwashers go way back. You third and fourth generation dishwasher here?
No, all my siblings graduated college, so just me.
Dishwashing college? Where's that? Where's the dishwashing college? They have a funnel straight out of your high school to dishwashing college or what? Go to Yale dishwashing college.
That was one tag after another tag after. See, that's what you do. You went into that world. Does everybody follow? once you entered the world of his ancestry,
That was hilarious.
that's like,
job.
that was like almost a whole minute of just continuous laughter from us, Michael. Okay, that was the first time he had ever done riffing. But there was a course. I mean, he took the course, and he knows a lot more of the fundamental. Now he knows them. He knows about asking questions. He knows about the responses. He knows about the answers. He knows about doesn't mean that he's able to instantaneously turn that into practice. So I guide him, and I will guide you to give you the ideas of where to go. And when he notice I'm talking always about go into a place, go into what I call a realm. He went into the realm of his whole family being a dishwasher. And then he got into details. So you're starting to see these things I'm talking about come to fruition as getting laughs. So it's really powerful because we're working with techniques and we practice a lot in class itself. So every week you'll be actually practicing crowd work just the way we're doing here. So let me tell you about the Zoom workshop itself. Okay, first of all, when you're learning and practicing these fundamentals, it works better on Zoom. As you can see, it's really good because I can guide you. I can guide you. And I know all the techniques. I uncovered them all. I've written them down. I put them in a curriculum. They're not just floating out there. They're on paper. Okay. There's no audience pressure. That's huge where, oh, the audience not laughing. You can make mistakes. It's okay. Everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's trying to learn this, and they're going to flounder around, and they're going to hit pockets of being absolutely hilarious. And then some areas, some valleys you're going to hit, and you got to learn how to get through those gracefully, and then find how to climb yourself back up to that peak of comedy on top of that mountain where everybody's laughing so hard. This way you're learning and you're playing at the same time. It's about play. It really is about play. Everybody hears me say it all the time. The idea is to have a safe environment where you can come in and play and learn these techniques. It's techniques. You got to practice them so they turn into skills. That's what techniques do. Techniques, practice, skills. Difference between knowing what riding a unicycle is and being able to ride a unicycle. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to ride a unicycle. Some more things about the workshop here is there's no prerequisites or experience necessary. You don't have to know anything about stand-up. You don't have to know anything about much of anything. You can come in and just take this class because you want to learn how to talk to an audience. Now, granted, it is probably going to mostly be stand-ups who have some experience doing stand-up, but are too afraid to get out and face an audience learning these techniques. Plus, you'll get a more rounded education with me about so many more things you can do. Unbelievable amount of choices that you'll have that'll give you something to talk about next. So we have one on Saturdays. It's a standalone Saturday Zoom workshop from noon to 3. It's on Saturdays. You can find it on my website, stand-upcomedy.com. Go on the menu and go under events. Okay, the weekend one is under events. There's another one. It's an ongoing on Thursday, every Thursday from noon to 2 Pacific time. These are all Pacific time. You can find that on the website under classes, and then going to ongoing classes. That's where you'll find that one. Okay, so with all that said, I hope to see you there. And remember, laughter is contagious. Pass it on.